The average Social Security check right now is about $2,071 a month, but the maximum possible check, according to the Social Security Administration's own numbers, is $5,181 a month. That's not a typo, that's a difference of over $3,000 every single month for the exact same government program. So what actually separates those two numbers? It's not luck, and it's not some secret loophole. It comes down to three specific, well-documented factors, and today I'm going to walk through exactly what they are, so you know precisely where you stand and what, if anything, you can still do about it. The real numbers, side by side. Let's start with the actual figures so this feels concrete instead of abstract. According to CNBC's reporting on 2026 SSA data, if you claim at age 62, the earliest possible age, the maximum monthly benefit is $2,969. If you claim at your full retirement age of 67, the maximum climbs to $4,152. And if you wait all the way until age 70, the maximum reaches $5,181 a month. Compare that to the average retired worker benefit, which sits at about $2,071 a month in 2026. So even someone hitting the maximum at 62 is already earning about $900 more than the average retiree makes at their absolute peak benefit. That gap only grows from there. Now, before you assume this doesn't apply to you, I want to be upfront. According to SSA data, less than 1% of beneficiaries actually receive the true maximum benefit. This video isn't about guaranteeing you'll hit $5,181. It's about understanding exactly which levers control your number, because even moving partway toward these factors can meaningfully increase your own check. Factor 1. Working at least 35 years. Here's something a lot of people don't realize about how Social Security actually calculates your benefit. The SSA doesn't just look at your last few working years, or even your highest few years. It averages your highest earning 35 years, adjusted for inflation, into a number called your average indexed monthly earnings, or IM. Here's the part that catches people off guard. If you worked fewer than 35 years, the SSA doesn't just average the years you did work. It fills in every missing year with a zero. According to the Social Security Administration's own calculation method, those zeros get averaged in right alongside your actual earnings, which can significantly drag your benefit down. Real quick, if you haven't already, hit subscribe now so you don't miss next week's update. Then let's keep going. So if you took a few years off for caregiving, went back to school, or had a gap between jobs, that's not automatically a problem, but it does mean those specific years count as zero, unless you have 35 total years of earnings to fully replace them. If you're still working and you're below 35 years, every additional year you work past 35 replaces a zero, or replaces a low-earning early career year, which can raise your benefit. Factor 2. Earning at the taxable maximum. This is the factor that limits the maximum benefit to a very small group of people. Social Security tax is only collected on income up to a certain yearly cap called the taxable maximum, or wage base. In 2026, according to the SSA, that cap is $184,500. Any income you earn above that amount isn't taxed for Social Security, and importantly, it also doesn't count toward your benefit calculation. To hit the true maximum benefit, you'd need to earn at or above that taxable maximum for all 35 of your counted years, not just a few peak years, but the full 35. According to the SSA, only about 6% of covered workers earn above the taxable wage cap in any given year, a share that's held roughly steady since the early 1980s. That's exactly why less than 1% of retirees ever reach the actual maximum. It requires sustaining top-tier earnings across an entire career, not just a strong decade. One detail worth knowing, the cap itself has grown significantly over time, so you didn't need today's $184,500 figure in earlier decades. The SSA indexes each year's earnings for inflation, so for example, hitting the cap back in 1991, when it was $53,400, counts the same as hitting today's $184,500 cap, for calculation purposes. Factor 3. Delaying your claim to age 70. The third factor is entirely within your control, regardless of your earnings history, when you actually claim your benefit. According to the SSA, for every month you delay claiming past your full retirement age, your benefit increases by roughly 0.2%, which adds up to about 8% per year. That increase continues until age 70, at which point it stops. There's no additional benefit to waiting past 70. Concretely, using SSA's own maximum benefit figures, someone who could claim $2,169 at 62 would instead receive $4,152 at 67, or the full $5,181 at 70. That's the same underlying earnings record, producing a monthly gap of more than $2,200. For life, with future cost of living increases compounding on top of whichever base amount you lock in. I do want to add an important caveat here, because delaying isn't automatically the right move for everyone. Your decision should also weigh your health, your family longevity history, and whether you need the income sooner. If you claim early and pass away a few years later, You may have collected more total lifetime benefits than if you'd waited. This is a genuinely personal calculation, not a one-size-fits-all rule. What this means for you practically, so here's how to actually use this information. First, create or log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov and look at your own earnings record. You can see exactly how many years you have on record, and whether any show up as zero or unusually low. Sometimes these are simply missing records worth correcting with SSA directly. Second, if you're still working and you're short of 35 years, know that every additional working year is directly replacing your lowest or missing year in the calculation. This is one of the few areas where continuing to work later in life has a very direct, measurable payoff. Third, if you're deciding when to claim, don't treat age 70 as automatically correct just because it produces the highest number. Run your own numbers, factor in your health and financial needs, and if it helps, talk to a licensed financial advisor who can model your specific break-even age. And finally, remember, 99% of people won't hit the true maximum, and that's completely normal. The value of understanding these three factors isn't chasing a number most people will never reach. It's understanding which of the three levers you can still realistically move, even partially, to improve your own benefit. So to wrap up, the difference between a $2,071 average check and a $5,181 maximum check comes down to three specific things. Working at least 35 years so you're not averaging in zeros, earning at or above the taxable maximum, which is $184,500 in 2026, across those years, and delaying your claim to age 70 rather than 62. Very few people will hit all three perfectly. But understanding them means you can make an informed decision instead of guessing. If this video helped you understand what actually drives your benefit amount, hit subscribe, because I break down real Social Security and Medicare updates every single week. Official facts, no scare tactics, no guessing. And let me know in the comments. Did you know the SSA fills missing years with zeros before today? I'll see you in the next one.